On September 24th, students from around the globe participated in a global climate strike. Youth vs. Apocalypse was one of the organizations organizing a climate strike right here in San Francisco. Carlmont's Climate Change Club encouraged its members to partake in this climate strike.
We're in a state of crisis and people aren't acting like it, and we need to wake up and stand up and show up and act up while there's still time. So that's why I'm here today, because I'm not going to be able to move on with my life until I know that I have a future. I think it's important to build community and show up, and also build public pressure and let other people in the community know what's happening, because when people see us marching in the streets, when they hear us yelling our hearts out, they know that we care about something and they want to know what we're caring about, and they want to start caring. So it's about, I think, like showing up for your community. It's about building community, and it's about building energy.
I've always been interested because, you hear all these things, it's like, this is terrible, I need to help change it. But when you're being impacted, it's different. Climate change and the continued impact I'm feeling in my home, which is in Sonoma County, where there's fires raging yearly. People around the world to see, it helps the politicians and the political people to see that we care and we're here to change this.
Show me what democracy looks like!
Just preserving our futures, because I have a lot of ambitions and it makes me really angry that the past generations have kind of ruined that for me, so I want to fix it for us.
Yeah, and I want to make sure we still have a planet for future generations to live.
We're already on borrowed time, and so it's not about like, oh, when I have a chance I'll do this. It's about doing it now.
And I feel like people are overlooking how big of an issue climate change is, because it's been happening for so long and people don't view as much of a priority.
So our school wants to change the world so we could have a better life and a better future.
I feel like there's not enough awareness being brought to climate change. It's more like political and stuff, and climate change is really like not the shine. Missing our day, our school day, to show everybody else what really matters. Especially because we're like younger, like teenagers and stuff. We're kind of frowned upon. They just think like, oh, we're kids, we don't know nothing about it, and we have to show them like we do, and we want to make a change.
What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now.
I think there's a type of energy and adrenaline that you get from coming to an action that it's very hard to replicate in other spaces. Sometimes as we're living our day-to-day lives, it can be hard to remember and tap into that power and energy of why we're doing what we do. And so sometimes for me, the strikes are just a reminder of, okay, you have to stay energized, you have to keep going, you have to keep pushing. And when you're doing it together, it's even more powerful. But more than that, we also are sending messages to our community and to the people watching, our politicians, that we need to take real action. To our community members, we're saying we need to put more pressure. To our politicians, we're saying you need to deliver the things that you promised to these communities that put you where you're at. It's really just the beginning. If you're only going to the actions and you're never making the call and you're never doing the email or sending the text, might as well not go to the action. You gotta send the email, you gotta send the text. You gotta figure out, how can I further this? How can I not stand in solidarity, act in solidarity? I mean, the climate movement fights on so many different subjects, because echoing my peers, it's connected. All of the issues that we face, they're connected. They stem from the same system, and we're trying to cut the head off the snake. And so the climate justice movement isn't just about saving the polar bears and the bees, but it's also about and acting in solidarity with the people that have already been fighting for years. Black, brown, indigenous communities have been fighting against pollution since damn near the start of this country. And that's ridiculous that nobody has acknowledged that, and that it's only when we realize that we might have to deal with those same effects that we are acting. So part of it is acknowledging that, it's acting towards that. It's telling the indigenous people across the nation at line 3, we're here, we're backing y'all up from across the globe. Obviously the biggest picture is ending the climate crisis and bringing, policy, bringing tangible forms of solutions, bringing real solutions that will work for all communities. So many times do we get solutions for things, and marginalized and oppressed people are left out. And so part of it is we don't just want solutions to the climate crisis, but we want equitable solutions. We want solutions that my Black and brown and indigenous peers are going to feel in their communities as well. And we want to take it a step further and accomplish that by pulling it from the root, which is we have to change how we're doing things. Your actions are important. The emails that you send to your representatives, the phone calls that you make, the text messages, even just the outreach emails that you do on behalf of climate orgs, those are important. The collective, the actions we take as a collective is important, but we all have to do our part. You gotta keep showing up day after day, and when you get tired, take your rest and get back up, because remember that we have to keep moving, keep showing up, keep coming out, and keep being resilient and resistant.
Reporting for Scott Center News, I'm Peyton Zulk.